this video, I'm going to share our current collection of CYO dolls. And in my videos, when I say our collection, I mean my dolls, my wife Grace's dolls, and the dolls that we share. She has the AGIG account and I have the YouTube account, but our collection means hers, mine, and ours. Anyway, let's get started. This is the first CYO I ever bought. I drove an hour each way to get her, but totally reasonable for $50 CYO to give my wife as a Christmas present, right? She even came with her full CYO meat outfit, and the box was included. We've said a few times that she might look nicer with a darker wig. I held a Gabriella wig up to her recently, and it looked beautiful. Just haven't been able to bring myself to do it yet. She looks a little more monochromatic than she would with either lighter skin or darker hair, but she is very lovely, and she was the first, so, gotta leave it. Next up is Giselle. I was super tickled to have found that lovely and affordable CYO Penelope to surprise my wife with, and then just a couple days later, I found this beauty. She was an eBay find and also $50. I think the lot was a little bit more than that, but it came with some other things that I ended up selling. So at the end of the day, the doll was $50. And I know she's not particularly unusual or it's not a particularly creative set of features, but I just find her so stunning. She is everything I look for in a Sonali mold. Wide set eyes, and they're not deep set either, like some of them are these days. Anyway, how could I not get her? So my wife got not one, but two completely unexpected dolls that Christmas. And this is one of only two CYOs in our collection that we actually designed. So Grace designed Wren, and she knew that her first would be an Addie mold. We have 10 other Addie mold dolls, and they all have dark skin and dark hair, so the CYO option meant an opportunity to do something different. She turned out perfectly, like love at first sight, and I am so happy that she was everything Grace hoped she would be. Fallon, or Fallon Irene Greer, was the second of the two CYOs that we actually designed, and she was my creation. So Grace and I got Fallon and Wren on the same day, and we opened them together. And she was not love at first sight. I felt like her eyes were just a hair deeper set than I would like, and they were just a tad more narrow set than I was hoping for. And her freckles, frankly, her freckles drove me nuts. They were lighter than I was expecting. Like, why were they so light? And they kind of shone in the light. I wanted so badly to love her, but every time I looked at her, I just felt a little disappointed. If that sounds ungrateful, I apologize, but it was the most I'd spent on a doll in my whole life, and I was so excited for her to be the doll that I had envisioned. So, fast forward several months, I tried changing her clothes and her hair a bit, but I still didn't love her. I added decal lashes, but that didn't help either. Finally, I just decided the freckles were bothering me so much that I would rather her have no freckles at all than the ones she had, which were too light and too reflective. I started to remove them with acetone nail polish remover, and a funny thing happened. It was like once I got the top layer off, they were actually darker and no longer shiny. Instantly, I liked her so much more. Then I swapped out her decal lashes for this eyeliner, and I feel like it makes her eyes look a little further apart. A few more hairstyle variations, and this is her. I'm smitten. I now smile whenever I see her, so no regrets at all about taking acetone to her freckles. So next up is Danny, and she is a CYO that I obviously customized after getting her. I found her on Facebook Marketplace for $80, and I had wanted to customize a TM80 with this wig, but this turned out to be an even cheaper option. Plus, freckles. So, like most Truly Me 80s, she came with bad eyes, and I had to swap them out for good ones, but in the same shade of brown. Other than that, I just added a little lip gloss, and it's hard to see here, but I did pierce her nose. Her ears already came pierced, so re-wigging her was the last thing. And she is adorable. Our next three CYOs are all ones that we purchased from the Madison Children's Museum benefit sale. For anybody who doesn't know, American Girl donates returned dolls some overstock, some recently retired ones, to MCM every year to be sold at a benefit sale. In 2022, the event was held online, and they even sent out like a CYO catalog in advance so people could look through it and see which ones they were most interested in and plan accordingly. So Grace and I were methodical. We decided how many we were willing to buy. We made lists of our first, second, third, even fourth choices, and we decided we would log in on our laptops at the same time and try to order simultaneously. We were hoping to pick up either a Jess mold or an Addie mold, but most of the Jess molds were either combinations we just weren't interested in or had really bad eyes or unevenly sized eye sockets. So pretty much all the Jess molds were out for us. And there were a few Addie molds, but there were so few Addie molds that we knew people were going to go after them and that our odds would not be good. We figured, even though we had a few Sonali molds already, we would go for dolls that we'd have some chance at least at getting. James was Grace's first choice. She really liked the now retired dark blue eyes, and her freckles are super cute. I remember sitting on the couch adding a doll to my cart and starting the checkout process and hearing her super excited right next to me say, "I got her!" just before I paid for my first choice. And Rosalie here was my first choice from the benefit sale. She's not a combination I would have chosen, but she's turned out to be one of my favorites. I have no idea why someone returned this gorgeous doll. She's perfect. And I couldn't believe that both Grace and I got our first picks. If you have ever shopped the benefit sale for CYOs, you know that it is an adrenaline rush. This year, the literal hundreds of CYOs that they had sold out in something like 25 minutes. Anyway, when she arrived, I didn't have a name picked out for her, but she kept reminding me of Rosalie Cullen from Twilight. So her backstory is that her mother was a Twilight fan and named her after Rosalie Cullen, which is super embarrassing for her. She's tried and failed to make other nicknames stick: Rose, Rosie, Lee, Lily. She's making up some nonsense story that she was named after Rosalie Edge, American socialite, suffragist, and amateur birdwatcher. Nobody's buying it. This doll just looks too much like the vampire of the horrible series Twilight. Naomi was my second choice from the benefit sale and my wife's third choice. Grace missed out on her second choice, so we were both pumped that I was able to snag Naomi. I definitely prefer the darker purple of Truly Me 86, and in general, I'm not drawn to dolls with hair this bright. And my wife feels pretty much exactly the same way, so we were both kind of surprised that we ended up putting her so high on the list. I'm not sure what it was about her, but it just works. It works. Apparently, we were not the only ones who thought so, because when Grace first posted her on Instagram, several people told us that they had tried to get her. They actually had another doll exactly like her in the sale, and we later learned that a collector we quote unquote know from an AG Facebook group got Naomi's twin, which is cool. Okay, this stunner right here is a recent addition to our collection. She's the first of someone else's CYOs that I would have created on my own. I'm pretty sure I have something extremely similar to this in my to create list. Pictures do not even do this doll justice. She might be my favorite of all of our CYOs. And she was $40, which makes cheapo me smile even more every time I look at her. She's just beautiful. Surprise! It's another Sonali mold. The last of the CYOs that we own at this point is Piper. I found Piper on Facebook Marketplace. No way was I not going to get her. She came with 2 complete American Girl outfits. One of them was the Let's Daydream CYO outfit, which had low-key been on my wish list for a while. And the outfits and the doll were $50 plus shipping. So, yeah. Again, you've heard me say it a few times. This isn't a combination of features that I necessarily would have picked, but they totally work. She is gorgeous. No regrets about getting her. And that's it. Those are our 10 create your own dolls at the moment. We're hoping to create a couple more this coming year, and as much as I love the mold, they probably won't be Sonali molds. Probably we'll get 2 more Addy molds since there are so many beautiful Addy CYOs out there, and we have definitely been taking notes. Until next video, thanks for watching.